Da katiata. Siana titia tatali aka tatamita titia tati kitimota. Ha siataka ni amanu yatiti liana ni ataka ayete sa se kitika yete eliana make ho yete pakate kania taliana makoteke. Siata Yanana yata de amara de keti dia di miada dia daliata se tiki ayate se ete nyama te ete amo hotiki te abatake sa ayatainia na liata iskete siatana kiata tayete ta ayata iti ada ta ayata Sike ta ete adanaite. Good evening, dear friends. We are here with you tonight in joy and love and peace and tranquility. We wish to add that to your planet as much as possible. We commend you for your efforts in imagining your perfect world. We wish you to understand that your imaginings are creating. They always will create. Exercise your belief in your own imaginings. You have pushed your imaginings to a new place, but there is much more to imagine. Every time that you push the boundaries of your imagination, you create a new boundary and you expand your ability to imagine. You most likely have experienced this. One time you will imagine something, and then the next time it is even more fantastic in your estimation. So you have begun the creation of your perfect world. And in some reality, that now exists. Some of your imaginings are from your experience that you have not remembered your perfect world because you have existed in that place. And now you are remembering how perfect that word is. Somewhat misleading. How joyful and loving that world is. Now we ask you to expand your imaginings further. You have created your perfect world. We ask you to select some portion of that perfect world that you would like to bring into your current experience. Will it be the joy? Will it be the fun? Will it be the magic? The experiences that are unknown to you at this time, only in your imaginings? We ask you to think of that piece of your world that you're creating and ask yourself, how would I like to share this with the world I'm living in my perceived reality? Because your imaginings, your creativity should be shared, because there are those who are not engaged in this exercise of imagining. They are engaged in other pursuits that is in their perceived world. But remember, they are you and you are they, as we are you and you are us. As you have chosen this experience on your planet, you perceive that you are having an individual experience, and that all others, we call them others, who are having that their own individual experience. Wouldn't you like to see every individual experiencer share in the joys and the love that you have created? So we ask you to think about how you would share your chosen piece of your perfect world, and then put that into practice. Become that piece of your perfect world. We see that you already inhabit your world with your love, with your joy, with your smiles, but sometimes also with your trials. But what we're asking you to do is share the wonderfulness with those who might be experiencing their own personal trials, their perception of the day-to-day upsets, if you will, so that they might join in your imagined world. We commend you for all the work that you do. As you know, as you walk through the world, you generate more love, because the love that you have is contagious, as is every energy that you experience. Remember that it is contagious. It is not yours alone. You share everything. So as much as you are able, concentrate on sharing that love that is within you. It is within everyone, but there are those, fewer and fewer we might add, who are not in touch with that essence of love that they are. It may appear to you that there is a majority of those who are living in their individual trial experience. We prefer to think in terms of the expansion of the love within each individual experiencer. And we will just continue to expect that expansion. As you well know, what you expect is what you're creating. That is part of your imagination. We might say...
This meeting is being recorded.
We might say that all imagination, creation, and expectation is really the same thing. These are concepts that we would like to have you consider as you go through your experiences on your planet. We wish to remind you that you are deeply loved, that you are deep love, that you are safe, and that you are here for a purpose, both individually in your experience and collectively. We will bless you with our language and then return for your questions. Ya tata ititi kali dia dada dinada. Si kata to yelaka si tiada na nia tata kiti ayata. Si keti kata ike tinia. Liata si to ya nana yata de liata. He kaka yata de tike. Ti etenia tata yadu. Nia maha tu yata leakato. Si titi asiana ka ayata He yala yana na yata takadoti iata itigetia. Thank you for being with us. Please ask a question if anyone has a question.
I have a question, and I really don't even like to ask it, but why do you love us? I mean, we are a race of killers. We've killed our planet almost. We kill each other. I know everyone is deserving of love, but why us? Why do you care?
We understand where you are coming from with that. Some things to remember are your experiences are individual for your own learning, and also you share that learning with those others, because remember, as this one being, you have chosen to learn in certain ways. And so those persons who are being killed have chosen that particular time, place, and method for them to drop their physical body. So in an odd way, those who are being killed, by your estimation, are grateful for those who assisted them in their ability to release themselves from this particular earthly experience. Why do we love you? We see your soul. You are our soul. We see your love. You are the essence of how can we not love you? We observe the ways in which you choose to have your experiences. And sometimes to some of us who are individuals, who are at a different frequency, if you will, who are further away in the oneness of being from your experience, sometimes we are curious about methods, but the entire universe of oneness, of one, is choosing whatever individual experiences are the most beneficial for them. So you are not the only planet that experiences curious methods, we will say, of learning and growing. But we don't see or make judgments about the methods that you might use for your own personal expansion. Was that helpful to you?
Yes, it was.
And when you asked that question, we were overwhelmed with the feeling of love for you because you do not know how beautiful your own personal love is. And we just wish you would, when you rejoin with us, you will see. But as we said, how can we not?
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there another question?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So, you've talked about how much you love us, and love is kind of an eternal truth, and kind of what we strive for is just to love and be loved. But in the human existence, we have concepts of right and wrong, good and bad, evil, goodness. Could you comment on those concepts? Are those just human things? Do they exist actually outside the human experience?
On your planet, you have chosen a system of duality, of comparison, of competition, because this is how you've created your method of growth. You have senses of touch and of seeing and of hearing and all of these things that you perceive as separate. In other places, some other places, there is not that separation, so there is no need for comparison, competition, observing others, because the experience of being together as one is everything shared. There are other places that have systems of duality and also systems that you would not understand that would be curious to you if you observe them. But these are all ways in which you can grow and learn. On your planet, you compare, but the reason for your need for learning on your planet and your chosen planet is that you have forgotten your essence of love. So when you have the opportunity to compare what you call good and evil, you get to choose. And when you choose, you remember a bit more, because it allows you to feel this feels good, or this feels right, or correct, or loving. When you have the experience of what you call evil, it is uncomfortable, even for the ones who are participating in the evil. They are just at a different level of remembering. So your duality is one way of your choice to learn. Similar to the previous discussion about death and the person participating in or orchestrating the death. So your human experience is much different from your essence of love experience. You will remember exactly who, what, how you are. You have chosen not to remember it, and using all the tools that you have on this earth to bring you closer to that remembrance. Was that helpful for you?
Yes, it was. Thank you.
You're most welcome. Is there another question?
Just to follow up real quickly. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Just follow up real quickly on the choosing to remember. So in this particular illusion that we're all creating here together, is it possible for us to fully remember the fact that we are love, the fact that we are one, those greater truths? And if we fully remember them, do we just like croak after that because we don't need to be here anymore because now we remember everything? So, or would we keep wanting to, exist in this illusion for a while? That's my question. Thanks.
You have had beings who have remembered as much as your human brain can remember. You know them as great teachers. So those who have come close to that full remembrance become those teachers, unless they have chosen to, as you say, croak. The teachers are familiar to you, and there's some that are not familiar to you. They are known through history and not known, but you have the choice. The more you remember, the more you understand who you truly are, the more you can share that. You are all in the process of remembering. You certainly remember a lot more than many of your colleagues, if you will. You see that every day. You remember in your spiritual practices, your practice of love, your communication with other beings on your earth plane, your understanding that they are also part of the one, your concern is not the right word, but your awareness of your own frequency that generates love. So you're in the process of remembering. When you reach the full remembrance, you still have choices. Many, though, take several experiences of different planets to get to that point. So be aware that you are in your remembrance and that there are others that you can look to who, one person that might be a good example that I believe you would all know is the lady named Mother Teresa. She continued her spiritual practice of love past her full remembrance. Now, full remembrance does not mean complete and utter full remembrance where you are joined with Source. Does that help you?
Absolutely. Yes, it does.
We look forward to your teachings.
Thank you. I have a quick follow-up question. I don't know if it's quick or not, if we have the time.
Yes?
I think we probably do since it doesn't exist. You mentioned use the word brain. One of the teachers that I read, it sounds like that when they talk about, there's three terms I want to talk about: intellect, brain, and mind. And there's one teacher that I listen to that seems like that they're using the word intellect and mind kind of interchangeably, like they're the same thing, or the brain and the mind is the same thing. Another teacher that I've been listening to for many years, the mind is not part of this physicality that we have. The intellect and the brain is part of that, but the mind is like our soul, something greater. What are your thoughts on that? On the difference between the mind and the intellect? Thank you.
These are words, and these are your English words, and they can have different meanings for different people, and in different languages on your planet, they have different meanings. The important thing is that you understand from your soul. There's also many words for soul, of what that means to you. We don't really have those earthly concepts. The brain, of course, is a physical organ. We would say that in some understanding, the physical organ, when exercised, might increase the intellect. These are things that can be measured. The mind can't exactly be measured, so that might be the closest to what we might call consciousness. But the real important thing, because each of those teachers uses their own filtering system and their own understanding. So the important thing is your understanding, and what you feel is the difference. So that is how we would consider it, and thinking from terms of physical measurements. We're not aware of a measurement for the mind, except you hear of people who are out of their mind. What does that mean? So that is, there is really not a lot of true importance to the difference, but your understanding of what those concepts mean to you, and you can use them in the way that makes the most sense for you. Did that help you?
Yes, it did. I was having a Facebook small conversation with someone that I know, and Ray knows as well, that maybe everybody knows, but about that topic, and kind of boiled down to the vocabulary is the real answer, which is exactly what you said. My challenge behind this question is that this person that I was having this Facebook conversation with believes, I believe also, that these two different teachers, there's no discrepancy in their teachings. There's no discrepancy in their teachings. And so when I hear one of them say the word intellect, and I go, or say the word mind, I go, no, you're talking about intellect, not mind. So it was my own personal thing of trying to gel these two teachers, their vocabulary.
And
but
and you're correct, because when you see that discrepancy, that vocabulary discrepancy, you in your own mind, you make that correction, and you say to yourself, this is what this means to me. That's the important thing. You have the essence of your answer. Thank you.
Yes, perfect. Yes, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And that is Seth and Emmanuel that she is referring to, by the way.
Did you say that too? Just everybody? Okay, yep. Seth and Emmanuel. Okay.
Everyone has different teachers that they resonate with. Each teacher has a slightly different not perception. I'm thinking of arrow or trajectory or focus, let's say, that's slightly different. It is wise to look at different teachers and listen to different teachers, because they will give you a little different perspective, a little different coloration, if you will. But the important thing is what speaks to you individually, because that is directed toward what you have asked to learn. So it is wise to have the variety of teachers, we will say. Is there another question? If there are no more questions, we thank you for your time, for the energy that you brought to this table. We thank you for your love that you share with us and with each other and with the world. We bid you a very fond good evening, and we will leave you with this blessing. Sikata atiti atabato tuti anamatuko sikate ayatata ne ata ana eme eteko.